The massive holographic projection filled the United Earth Council chamber, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of 200 representatives from every nation. High Commissioner Isabella Romano stood at the center podium, her weathered face betraying no emotion as she read the message for the third time. In the interest of galactic stability and peace, the Federated Worlds hereby extends its protection to Earth and its colonies. Accept our guidance, and prosperity will follow. Resist, and face isolation. The chamber erupted in angry shouts and protests. Romano raised her hand, silencing the crowd with a practiced gesture. Representatives of Earth, we all know what protection means. The Syndicate of Proxima received the same offer last year. Now their worlds are nothing more than mining colonies. Admiral Raj Patel, head of Earth's Defense Force, stepped forward. His dark uniform bore no medals. Humanity's wars have been internal until now. The Federation's fleet will arrive in 72 hours. Their ships outnumber ours 20-1. Conventional resistance would be suicide. Then we surrender? A voice called from the crowd. Romano's lips curved into a slight smile. No, we show them why you should never corner a species that turned its own planet into a fortress. The lights dimmed, and a new hologram appeared, Earth's secret weapon, Project HFY. For 20 years, the brightest minds on Earth had worked in underground facilities, reverse engineering scattered pieces of alien technology. But they hadn't just copied it, they'd improved it. The Federation believes we're primitive, Patel explained, pointing to the schematics. They think our ships still use fusion drives and traditional shields. They don't know about the quantum tunneling technology we developed, or the phase shift generators. The hologram showed a simulation of Earth's hidden fleet, vessels that could slip between dimensions, becoming virtually invisible and untouchable. While the Federation had focused on brute force, humanity had pursued innovation born of necessity. What about the civilian population? Asked Representative Chen, her voice tight with concern. Romano pressed a button, revealing a network of underground cities built beneath every major metropolitan area. Operation Sanctuary is already underway. By the time their fleet arrives, our surface cities will be empty, hardened decoys hiding our true strength. The next 48 hours transformed Earth. As the Federation's deadline approached, millions of people disappeared below ground, leaving behind automated systems to maintain the illusion of normal activity. In orbit, Earth's visible defense fleet, obsolete ships maintained for show, took up position. Admiral Patel stood in the underground command center, watching real-time feeds as the Federation's fleet emerged from hyperspace. Massive ships, each the size of a small city, filled Earth's skies. Their commander's voice boomed across all frequencies. People of Earth, your time of isolation ends. Accept the Federation's protection or face the consequences. Romano, standing beside Patel, nodded once. Send our response. The Admiral pressed a single button, and across Earth's surface, the hidden quantum transmitters activated. The message was short. We decline. The Federation ships charged their weapons, ready to demonstrate their superiority. But at that moment, the true battle for Earth's freedom was about to begin, and humanity's deception was about to bear fruit. The Federation never realized they weren't the only ones who could play at deception. They never questioned why Earth's apparent defenses seemed so primitive, or why acceptance of their ultimatum came so quickly from some nations, while others remained silent. As the Federation's ships moved to take up orbital positions, Admiral Patel turned to Romano. All units report ready. Operation GHOSTWALKR is armed and waiting. Romano took a deep breath, her hand hovering over the command console. 20 years of preparation, of sacrifice and secrecy, had led to this moment. "Remember," she said to the command staff, "whatever happens next, we show them that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons or our technology. It's our ability to unite against those who threaten our freedom." The Federation's ships began their descent, confident in their overwhelming superiority. They never suspected that Earth's apparent vulnerability was the greatest military deception in human history. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate a species that had spent its entire history preparing for threats, both from within and without. The Federation ships never saw the first strike coming. As their vessels entered low Earth orbit, hundreds of quantum signatures flashed across their sensors. But by then, it was too late. Earth's hidden fleet, led by Captain Nydia Volkov, materialized directly inside the Federation's formation, their phase-shifted hulls becoming solid reality in spaces where enemy ships had been moments before. "All units, execute Protocol Sunburst," Volkov commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around her. The quantum-shifted Earth vessels, appearing like black ghosts against the stars, unleashed their primary weapons, not conventional energy beams or projectiles, but targeted electromagnetic pulses that could penetrate Federation shields. In the underground command center, Admiral Patel watched the battle unfold through quantum-entangled displays. "Status report," he demanded. "Federation fleet experiencing widespread systems failures," Lieutenant Kenzo Tanaka reported, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. "Their shield generators are offline. Communication networks disrupted, exactly as we predicted." The Federation's response came swift but uncoordinated. Their massive ships, suddenly vulnerable, fired blindly into space. But Earth's vessels, using their phase-shift technology, simply allowed the energy beams to pass harmlessly through their quantum-displaced hulls. Deep beneath Mount Fuji, Dr. Priya Sharma's team monitored the quantum field stability of Earth's fleet. The technology they'd developed was revolutionary, allowing ships to exist partially out of phase with normal spacetime. It had taken years of secret research, countless failed experiments, and the combined brilliance of Earth's greatest minds to perfect. The Federation's trying to adapt, Priya announced, watching energy patterns shift on her displays. "They're attempting to modify their shields to counter our phase shift technology." High Commissioner Romano stood from her command chair. "Initiate Stage 2. Across Earth's surface, hidden installations hummed to life. The planet's magnetic field began to pulse in complex patterns designed to interact with the quantum fields generated by Earth's ships. What looked like simple defensive technology to the Federation was actually part of a much larger weapon. Captain Volkov's voice crackled through quantum channels. "MAGNET protocols engaged. All ships, prepare for synchronized field collapse." The Federation fleet, still struggling with disabled systems, didn't understand the significance of the changing magnetic readings. Their sensors, designed to detect conventional weapons and energy signatures, missed the web of quantum entanglement being woven around them. In a synchronized maneuver practiced countless times in secret, Earth's ships generated a cascading quantum field that interacted with the planet's pulsing magnetic field. The result was devastating, a quantum cascade that trapped the Federation vessels in a state of temporal flux. "By the stars," breathed Admiral Patel, watching the enemy fleet freeze in space, caught between moments of time. It actually worked. But victory wasn't assured yet. The Federation ships at the edge of the effect were already breaking free, their advanced technology allowing them to adapt faster than expected. And behind them, more ships were emerging from hyperspace, reinforcements arriving ahead of schedule. "They're calling our bluff," Romano observed, her face grim. Time for the contingency plan. Dr. Sharma's team activated their final countermeasure, Project ORACLE. For years, they had been seeding Earth's orbital space with microscopic quantum receivers, invisible to Federation scans. Now, those receivers activated, creating a mesh network of quantum-entangled points in space. ORACLE grid is online. Priya reported. Quantum mesh stability at 97%. Captain Volkov's fleet regrouped, taking up positions at key nodes in the quantum mesh. The Federation reinforcements, unaware of the trap, pressed their attack. Their first volley of energy weapons hit the mesh and vanished. Quantum redirection successful, Kenzo announced. Their own weapons fire is being redirected through the mesh. The Federation ships found themselves under attack from their own energy beams, emerging from seemingly empty space at impossible angles. Their advanced shielding, designed to protect against front-facing attacks, proved vulnerable to weapons fire coming from all directions simultaneously. In the command center, Romano watched the Federation fleet's formation break apart. "Send the message," she ordered. "Let's see if they're ready to negotiate." The quantum mesh carried Earth's transmission directly into the Federation command ships, bypassing their communications jamming. "Your assessment of Earth's capabilities was flawed. We offer you one chance to withdraw. There will not be a second." The response came minutes later, not from the fleet commanders, but from the Federation Council itself. They had greatly underestimated humanity's ingenuity, and now they faced a choice: admit defeat or escalate to full-scale war. As they awaited the Federation's decision, Admiral Patel turned to Romano. "Do you think they'll back down?" "They have to calculate the cost," she replied. "Not just in ships and lives, but in reputation. How will the other subjugated worlds react when they learn that Earth didn't just resist? We outmaneuvered them?" The next few moments would determine whether humanity's hidden strength had bought them their freedom, or merely the opening moves of a longer war. Either way, the galaxy would never again underestimate the determination and ingenuity of Earth's people. The Federation Council's response came not through diplomatic channels, but in the form of a massive hyperspace rupture. A second fleet, twice the size of the first, emerged into Earth's orbit. Leading them was the Federation's most feared vessel, the Celestial Judgment, a planet killer capable of destabilizing a world's core. "They're not here to negotiate," Admiral Patel observed grimly. "Direct hit from that ship would crack Earth like an egg." High Commissioner Romano's response was immediate. "Initiate Operation Hydra." Throughout the solar system, hidden shipyards concealed within asteroids and beneath the surfaces of Mars and Venus activated. Thousands of autonomous drones, each carrying advanced quantum weaponry, swarmed toward Earth. They were humanity's insurance policy, a distributed defense network that had been building in secret for decades. Captain Volkov's voice crackled through quantum channels, Hydra units detecting multiple targeting locks. The Celestial Judgment is charging its main cannon. Dr. Sharma's team worked frantically at their stations, adjusting the quantum mesh to account for the massive energy readings. "The weapon's signature is unlike anything we've seen. Our current defenses might not hold." But humanity had one more surprise. From beneath the lunar surface, a massive structure began to rise. Project Artemis, Earth's ultimate defensive weapon. The moon-based installation had been built using technology reverse-engineered from a crashed Federation scout ship decades ago. RTMS is online, Lieutenant Tanaka reported. Quantum synchronization at maximum. The celestial judgment fired its planet-killer beam, a concentrated stream of exotic particles designed to burrow through planetary crusts. But as the beam approached Earth, RTMA is activated. The quantum mesh surrounding Earth began to vibrate at precise frequencies, creating a cascading effect that caught the beam in a web of warped spacetime. Energy capture successful, Priya announced, redirecting through the HLI network. The thousands of autonomous drones surrounding Earth began to glow with captured energy. In a precisely choreographed dance, they redirected the Celestial Judgment's own weapon back at the Federation fleet, split into countless smaller beams that struck with surgical precision. Federation ships began to fall, their hulls breached by their own weapons' energy. The Celestial Judgment itself shuddered as multiple beams pierced its supposedly impenetrable shields. "They're retreating to minimum safe distance," Volkov reported, "but they're maintaining battle formation." Romano nodded grimly. "They're regrouping, preparing for a concentrated assault." She turned to Admiral Patel. "Time for our final card." Deep within Mercury's core, Earth's most closely guarded secret awaited activation. Project Helios, a quantum singularity drive capable of temporarily manipulating the solar system's gravitational fields. It was dangerous, experimental technology that could only be used once. "All ships, execute Protocol Sunrise," Patel commanded. "Fall back to defensive positions." As Earth's fleet retreated, the Federation advanced, believing they had finally pushed humanity back. The Celestial Judgment moved to the front of their formation, preparing for another attack. That's when Helios activated. Mercury's orbit shifted slightly, and with it, the carefully calculated gravitational waves rippled through space. The Federation fleet found themselves caught in a gravitational lens. Their ship's mass suddenly multiplied exponentially. "Their engines can't compensate," Tanaka reported with satisfaction. "They're being pulled into their own gravity well." The Federation fleet collapsed into itself, ships crashing into one another as artificial gravity failed. The Celestial Judgment, its mass now too great for its own structural integrity, began to break apart. Through the chaos, Romano broadcast one final message. "Earth is not your colony. Earth is not your mining operation. Earth is humanity's home, and we will defend it with everything we have. Your choice is simple. Leave our solar system or be destroyed by your own hubris." The remaining Federation ships, those that could still maneuver, began emergency hyperspace jumps. The Celestial Judgment, pride of the Federation fleet, drifted in pieces, a monument to underestimating humanity's resolve. But as the command center celebrated their victory, Admiral Patel and Commissioner Romano exchanged knowing looks. This wasn't the end. It was merely the beginning of a new chapter in human history. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity's place in it had been forever altered by this single decisive battle. The Federation Council's response came not through diplomatic channels, but in the form of a massive hyperspace rupture. A second fleet, twice the size of the first, emerged into Earth's orbit. Leading them was the Federation's most feared vessel, the Celestial Judgment, a planet killer capable of destabilizing a world's core. "They're not here to negotiate," Admiral Patel observed grimly. "Direct hit from that ship would crack Earth like an egg." High Commissioner Romano's response was immediate. Initiate Operation Hydra. Throughout the solar system, hidden shipyards concealed within asteroids and beneath the surfaces of Mars and Venus activated. Thousands of autonomous drones, each carrying advanced quantum weaponry, swarmed toward Earth. They were humanity's insurance policy, a distributed defense network that had been building in secret for decades. Captain Volkov's voice crackled through quantum channels, Hydra units detecting multiple targeting locks. The celestial judgment is charging its main cannon. Dr. Sharma's team worked frantically at their stations, adjusting the quantum mesh to account for the massive energy readings. The weapon's signature is unlike anything we've seen. Our current defenses might not hold. But humanity had one more surprise. From beneath the lunar surface, a massive structure began to rise. Project Artemis, Earth's ultimate defensive weapon. The moon-based installation had been built using technology reverse-engineered from a crashed Federation scout ship decades ago. Artemis is online, Lieutenant Tanaka reported. Quantum synchronization at maximum. The celestial judgment fired its planet-killer beam, a concentrated stream of exotic particles designed to burrow through planetary crusts. But as the beam approached Earth, RTMAs activated. The quantum mesh surrounding Earth began to vibrate at precise frequencies, creating a cascading effect that caught the beam in a web of warped spacetime. Energy capture successful, Priya announced, redirecting through the HYDR network. The thousands of autonomous drones surrounding Earth began to glow with captured energy. In a precisely choreographed dance, they redirected the celestial judgment's own weapon back at the Federation fleet, split into countless smaller beams that struck with surgical precision. Federation ships began to fall, their hulls breached by their own weapons' energy. The celestial judgment itself shuddered as multiple beams pierced its supposedly impenetrable shields. "They're retreating to minimum safe distance," Volkov reported, "but they're maintaining battle formation." Romano nodded grimly. "They're regrouping, preparing for a concentrated assault." She turned to Admiral Pato. "Time for our final card." Deep within Mercury's core, Earth's most closely guarded secret awaited activation. Project Helios, a quantum singularity drive capable of temporarily manipulating the solar system's gravitational fields. It was dangerous, experimental technology that could only be used once. "All ships, execute Protocol Sunrise," Patel commanded. "Fall back to defensive positions." As Earth's fleet retreated, the Federation advanced, believing they had finally pushed humanity back. The celestial judgment moved to the front of their formation, preparing for another attack. That's when Helios activated. Mercury's orbit shifted slightly, and with it, the carefully calculated gravitational waves rippled through space. The Federation fleet found themselves caught in a gravitational lens. Their ship's mass suddenly multiplied exponentially. "Their engines can't compensate," Tanaka reported with satisfaction. "They're being pulled into their own gravity well." The Federation fleet collapsed into itself, ships crashing into one another as artificial gravity failed. The celestial judgment, its mass now too great for its own structural integrity, began to break apart. Through the chaos, Romano broadcast one final message. Earth is not your colony. Earth is not your mining operation. Earth is humanity's home, and we will defend it with everything we have. Your choice is simple. Leave our solar system, or be destroyed by your own hubris. The Federation's crushing defeat at Earth sparked a revolution that no one had anticipated. Within days, quantum-encrypted transmissions flooded Earth's communications network from dozens of subjugated worlds. They had watched humanity stand against their oppressors, and now they wanted Earth's help. Commissioner Romano, convened an emergency session of the United Earth Council. The Federation's grip on power was built on fear, she explained, gesturing to a holographic map showing systems requesting alliance with Earth. Now that fear is crumbling. Admiral Patel's tactical analysis painted a complex picture. The Federation still controls vast resources and territories. They'll regroup, adapt their strategies. Next time, they won't underestimate us. Then we don't give them time. Captain Volkov interjected via quantum link. Her fleet had already begun installing quantum mesh nodes throughout nearby systems, creating a network of protected space. Every day we wait gives them more time to counter our technology. Dr. Sharma's team had made another breakthrough. We've decoded their neural network protocols, she announced. The Federation's ships are linked through quantum AI cores. That's how they coordinate their massive fleets. But it's also their weakness. The plan that emerged was audacious. Earth would not wait for the Federation's counterattack. Instead, they would take the fight to the heart of Federation space. But not with ships and weapons, with code. Lieutenant Tanaka led the Cyber Warfare Division in a massive quantum intrusion operation. Federation communications began to fail across hundreds of systems. Their automated defense networks turned against them. Trade routes collapsed as navigation systems went dark. This isn't just about winning a war, Romano addressed the Council. It's about reshaping the galaxy. The Federation built their empire on technological supremacy. We're showing the galaxy that their technology can be turned against them. The subjugated worlds, watching Earth's strategy unfold, began their own uprisings. Federation control centers found their quantum cores infected with Earth-designed viruses. Military vessels arrived at coordinates only to find their targets had been warned through Earth's growing quantum mesh network. But the Federation had one last desperate move. Their Central Council activated the Omega Protocol, a scorched Earth policy designed to destroy their own infrastructure rather than let it fall into enemy hands. Thousands of quantum cores began simultaneous meltdown sequences. They're going to collapse the quantum network across the entire galaxy, Dr. Sharma warned. The devastation would send civilization back centuries. Earth's response came through Project ORACLE. The quantum mesh, now spanning dozens of systems, transformed from a defense network into a stabilizing grid. Each node acted as a quantum dampener, containing the cascade of failing Federation systems. We're not just fighting their weapons anymore, Patel observed. We're fighting to save them from themselves. The next 48 hours would determine the fate of galactic civilization. Earth's quantum mesh strained under the load of containing thousands of collapsing Federation cores. Dr. Sharma's team worked without rest, writing code on the fly to adapt the network. Captain Volkov's fleet split into smaller groups, racing to critical Federation installations. Not to destroy them, but to install quantum stabilizers that would prevent their destruction. Earth's forces found themselves fighting alongside former Federation troops who refused to participate in their leader's suicidal last stand. In the end, it wasn't Earth's advanced technology or military strategy that won the day. It was the choice to save their enemies rather than destroy them. As Federation worlds watched Earth work to contain the Omega Protocol's destruction, the narrative of humanity as a dangerous, primitive species crumbled. Federation colonies began demanding new leadership. Military commanders ordered their ships to stand down. The Central Council, their final gambit failed, faced rebellion from within their own ranks. They're requesting an immediate ceasefire, Tanaka reported, reading the incoming transmission. And they're asking for our help rebuilding their quantum network. Romano shared a knowing look with Admiral Patel. Earth had gained something far more valuable than military victory. They had shown the galaxy a different way forward, one based on innovation and cooperation rather than domination and fear. The war was ending, but humanity's real challenge was just beginning. They would help rebuild the galaxy they had helped break free, knowing that the price of freedom was not just in winning battles, but in showing wisdom in victory. The Great Hall of the new Galactic Assembly bore little resemblance to the old Federation Council chamber. Representatives from Earth sat alongside delegates from formerly subjugated worlds, their diversity reflected in the architecture that blended styles from 100 cultures. High Commissioner Romano, now serving as Earth's primary diplomat, addressed the gathered representatives. The Federation's mistake was believing that uniformity meant stability. They sought to control through technological superiority. We propose a different path. The quantum mesh network, once a weapon of war, had been transformed into the backbone of a new interstellar civilization. Dr. Sharma's team had worked with scientists from across the galaxy to create an open-source version of the technology, ensuring no single world could monopolize its power. Admiral Pato, overseeing the transition of Earth's defense force into a peacekeeping fleet, presented the security protocols that would protect this new order. Our strength lies not in weapons, but in collaboration. Every world contributes its unique insights to our shared defense. The former Federation worlds were learning this lesson firsthand. Their quantum cores, once used to control vast automated fleets, now powered a network of early warning systems and disaster response platforms. Captain Volkov's ships patrolled trade routes alongside vessels from dozens of worlds, their crews learning from each other's experiences. Lieutenant Tanaka's cyber warfare division had evolved into an interstellar technology exchange program. The Federation hoarded knowledge. He explained to a group of visiting scientists, "We're building a galaxy where innovation is shared, where each breakthrough benefits all." But the greatest change was cultural. Worlds that had lived in fear of Federation reprisal now sent their young people to study on Earth, while human students traveled to distant planets to learn alien sciences and philosophies. The Assembly's first major test came when long-range sensors detected an unknown force approaching from intergalactic space. Instead of panic, the response was coordinated and measured. Ships from 100 worlds gathered in defensive formation, their tactics blending Earth's quantum technology with techniques from across the galaxy. The unknown visitors, encountering not a fragmentary collection of fearful worlds, but a unified and confident civilization, chose diplomacy over confrontation. First contact with an extragalactic species became a celebration of cooperation rather than a prelude to conflict. Romano stood in the observation dome of the Assembly Station, watching ships from across known space, moving in harmony through the quantum lanes. "We didn't just win a war," she mused to Admiral Pato. "We changed the rules of the game." Dr. Sharma, her work now focused on pushing the boundaries of quantum science, had discovered something remarkable. The mesh network was evolving, becoming more than the sum of its parts. The combined knowledge and creativity of countless civilizations were creating possibilities that no single species could have imagined. The galaxy entered a golden age of exploration and discovery. Earth's quantum phase technology, combined with engineering principles from a dozen worlds, made possible voyages to previously unreachable regions of space. Former Federation worlds, freed from technological restrictions, contributed innovations that transformed understanding of the universe itself. The price of freedom had been high, but its rewards proved greater than anyone had imagined. Humanity had risen from an isolated world to become not conquerors, but catalysts, sparking a transformation that would echo through the cosmos for generations to come. As new civilizations joined the assembly, they found not an empire ruling through force, but a community united by shared principles of innovation, cooperation, and respect for diversity. The Federation's fall had cleared the way for something far greater, a galaxy where freedom and progress went hand in hand, and where the combined strength of many cultures created a future brighter than any single world could achieve alone. In the end, Earth's greatest victory wasn't in defeating the Federation, but in showing the galaxy a better way forward, one where the price of freedom was paid not in blood and destruction, but in the currency of cooperation, innovation, and shared wisdom.